Hi gems, it's your girl Ambra and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about foundations, particularly foundations that are ideal for oily skin. If you guys have been watching me for quite some time, you all know that I have oily combination skin and I try to do everything in my power to mattify the situation. You know, not to enhance what is already naturally going to go down when I wear foundation all day. Of course, you set yourself up with a great base with your primers and your mattifying, your pore erasing and all that jazz. But ultimately, once you apply those layers, you need to have a good, solid foundation that's going to be comparable to those necessary steps you've taken to mattify your face all day and really achieve a flawless finish. So if you're interested in my suggestions for the top 6 foundations for oily skin, keep watching. Alright gems, we're just going to jump right into it. Some of them are oldies but goodies. Some of them you've seen me started to use more and more as I've started to film more videos. You've got to see me week to week. So I really, at this point, have used them long enough to really give a true assessment of their capabilities, you dig? And I really can speak to how they've been comparable to my skin type and all day wear, event wear, certain environment wear. So first off the bat, in no particular order, I'm just grabbing as I selected what I felt would be like my top 6. And right off the cuff, this is my black Opal True Color Pore Perfecting Liquid Foundation. This is a, we're going to call it light to medium but yet buildable foundation. It really minimizes the appearance of pores and it does have mattifying qualities in the product. I just love it. It is drugstore friendly. I purchased this on blackopal.com, but I mean the seamless, flawless finish of this product is ridiculous, to be quite honest, for such an affordable price. I am in the color Suede Mocha. I do like to use this, yes, later fall, winter time frame. It is a thicker consistency. You know what I feel this is a really good dupe for, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But the Becca Ultimate Coverage, it has that thick consistency with a really good pigmentation that's really going to cover your problem areas, but really stay put all day. Again, I have combined this with a pretty decent primer. I mean, like my Becca primer and my Smashbox, and it works really, really nicely. So if you haven't tried it yet and you're looking for an affordable option, definitely Black Opal for my women of color out there. They have an array of shades that is going to be comparable to your skin tones. Make sure you're matching neck to face so it doesn't look like your head has been like juxtaposed on your shoulders. But I highly suggest this for oily skin. This is definitely a go-to for me. And I've recently started noticing when I thought about doing this video, like, yo, I've been using this Black Opal on reg. So I had to share it with you guys, to be quite honest. Next up, this is the newbie in my collection. And I have pros and cons, but I still wanted to speak to its mattifying properties. And this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I am indeed in the color, Deep Honey, which I find to be an ideal match. It is oil-free. It's 12-hour makeup. I did mention it's oil-free, yes. But here's the boop in the whole array of wonderfulness that this product gives me. Yes, it's a great color match. Yes, I do attest to the 12-hour coverage because I have worn it all day from the time I woke up in the morning to the time that I finally washed my face at night. And that's about a 12-hour day for me. And it does beautifully. And for my skin tones, and you know I'm in that like NW 47-48 range, it does an amazing job with coverage. And this is a full coverage. Again, another product that's more thick in consistency. But what I don't like about it, I'm only going to use this foundation if I know I'm not taking pictures, if I know I'm not going somewhere like, you know, I don't know, that's going to have a flash. You know, when you take selfies, you can work with a filter. But if you're going to go somewhere, say a wedding, like I would never put this on my brides, to be quite honest. This is more what I consider my vacation foundation because it has that SPF quality in it. But SPF, as we all know, gives a really ridiculous flashback. So when you're putting this foundation on, you will see like those undertones of like that gray blue that sunscreen kind of gives women of color in deeper skin tones. But once it oxidizes and it settles, you don't see it to the naked eye. But in pictures, girl, no, this ain't prom, this ain't wedding, this ain't high school reunion. Like, we gonna use this when we go on vacation. Okay, but I definitely still suggest it for oily skin. It does mattify really nicely. I noticed with wearing this, I didn't even have to set. And in the world of oily skin, like, that's just unheard of. Like, that's not a language, that's blasphemy that you don't set. You know what I'm saying? So if the foundation is right, I say it can't hurt. Next up, you guys have been commenting on this foundation in most of my videos and even on my Instagram posts. I've been using this foundation, and repeatedly I keep on hearing, Amber, flawless, beautiful, gorgeous. Like, girl, flatter me. It has been the Makeup Forever HD Ultra HD foundation. This right here has been Boo Boo Kitty. This has been an amazing foundation for me, you guys. The color match is amazing. You know they have over 40 shades with Makeup Forever. And I actually love the old formulation as well, but this is definitely something that I have been doing more research and making sure that this is something that I can put in my kit for my brides, for my proms, for my special occasion girls, when I am freelancing. And it's just in every shade. And I've applied this with fair skin all the way to deeper skin tones, combination oily. It's just been amazing, especially for long wear. It's flawless. I do apply this with my beauty blender because I feel like it gives me a more seamless, flawless, blendable look. It is buildable. I do have some problem areas that I like to cover with concealer, but sometimes I say, bump it, I don't really need it. You know, because this one really covers those areas that sometimes I like to nitpick about, you know, and I feel like it's very skin-like. It's not heavy. It definitely has a really great wear, and I just enjoy it. Like, you know, it's really hard to come about a foundation that's really going to be comparable to oily skin, because, you know, throughout the day you blotting and dotting and you don't want to look like shiny suit man, you know? And this foundation is so flawless. It's like, where you been all my life? Where you been? I guess just, you know, preparing itself for me, you know, and for the masses. Next up, we have our Old Faithful Studio Fix Plus. I'm in the color NW47. This is what I'm wearing today. You know, I have a soft spot for Studio Fix, and I don't know if you girls out there share the same as me, but she has been holding me down since the late 90s, okay? Like, this was the first foundation that I actually spent a coin on that wasn't in a drugstore, you feel me? Like, she has held me down. She is mattifying. She is all free. She is affordable. You feel grown. You know, this one right here, I feel like if all else fails and you want to keep it low budget, like, this is just an holy grail, you know, item that I really think that those who are truly invested in having that flawless appearance, this is definitely something that you should consider keeping. So yes, MAC Studio Fix comes in an array of shades, and I've actually heard a little buzz about them expanding this line of products so that they even get deeper and deeper. And with my really beautiful black girls out there that I've done makeup on, this has been flawless in photographs. The flashback is non-existent, especially when you're doing it right. And I just feel like, and you know, this is like my third bottle, and within the year, and I can already feel that this is actually light. So time for a filler up. Next, I have a drugstore friendly, and this one's actually almost gone too, but I have a backup. I'm all about that backup. You know, that reserve tank we got of makeup. But this is something that, oh my gosh, you guys, I used this so much this summer that I was like, we need to take a little break, put you on a shelf, you get yourself together, let me experiment more with other foundations. But just recently I've grabbed Becca, and we've just had a heart-to-heart, and you just do me right. And I've actually mixed this one with my Studio Fix, and together, it's a match made in heaven, in my opinion. And that's the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. And this you can get at any local grocery, Target, online. This one right here is a 24-hour foundation. It's saying it's a demi matte finish, airtight, oil free. But I find it to be a more solidified matte finish. I don't feel like it's demi. I feel like it gives me what I need for, you know, the areas that are problematic for me in my T-zone. You know, this is the darkest shade L'Oreal's going to give you, honey, so you work with what you got. But the formulation is right. So you can do a little mixing with maybe some of the darker shades that you have if you are my skin tone a little bit darker, just to kind of take a little bit of that ingredient that is really showing that this is just a flawless finished foundation. I can personally use it on my own. And this is in the color 112, which is Cocoa. Coca, girl. Whenever you throwing A's in before the O, it just be throwing you off. But this is in the color 112. This is, like I mentioned, a 24-hour foundation. It's amazing for oily skin and combination skin. It doesn't clog the pores. It's not heavy. And it's not as thick either as, say, the Black Opal that I had mentioned earlier. It definitely has a full finish. I feel like even though they're saying it's medium coverage, it's buildable so you can get that full coverage, just a couple extra layers, and it's going to give you that full face. And I'm a full face kind of girl. Like, I ain't even about that light sheer coverage. Like, no, if I'm going to wear makeup, I want to wear makeup. And not have it be so heavy. And that's this, in my opinion, that's what this product gives for me. And this is just a must-have. This is something that's going to be in constant rotation all year around, mostly in the summer, if anything, because you don't want to look, you know, with the sun beaming down on you and your pores are working overtime and you're excreting so much oils. Have something that's going to be on your side. She gonna hold you down. You feel me? So if you haven't tried it yet, I highly suggest it. I can't imagine them taking it off the shelves, because I'm sure this past summer, with all the other YouTubes who have spoken so highly about this product, she ain't going nowhere. So you need to get up on it. One. And this is my Becca Ultimate Coverage Complexion Cream. I am in the color Sandalwood. And it comes in a nice little tube pump like this, similar to the others. It's about, yeah, 1 fluid ounces, which is pretty common for most foundation bottles. This is a thicker consistency. I talked briefly about it in another video, but this one right here is giving you that full coverage, girl. It is going to cover up every inch of what you're not happy about. You feel me? But it gives you such a beautiful finish. Flawless, yes. Satin, non-transparent. It doesn't feel heavy. It is thick, so the pigmentation is going to be quite higher, and it's going to allow you to not have to put so much of other things to color correct and spot check and conceal. So I really do like Becca. I feel like it's a bit too thick for summer, in my opinion. So I have been using it more in the latter part of the year and even currently, because it's much colder right now in Seattle. But I can't imagine using it in the summer, because that may be just too much, especially when you're competing with 80 and 90 degree weather. That's when you stick with your Infallible, especially with everyday usage and it being a more affordable option to use on a daily basis. Maybe in the evening when the temperatures drop but it's still a little warm out, you can pull out your Becca. But this is definitely a good option for my oily girls out there. One key note, let me just drop this bit of disclaimer. I don't know what it is, y'all. But in my opinion, this foundation does not work well with its sister partner, Becca Prime. I feel like they're competing for love, because either I'm not applying this, you know what, I'll leave that up for your opinion. But I find that the consistency of this primer leaves this foundation very splotchy. Not a word, but you get my drift. Like, I have to wear this with my Smashbox. I can wear this with my Makeup Forever mattifying primer. But for whatever reason, they like two sisters that are born 2 years apart, and they just don't get along, y'all. So I mean, you know, I'm not going to deter you from trying it, but my opinion and it's not just on my skin. I've used this on another sister, and it was just like they weren't getting along, y'all. And it was just frustrating me, and I had to like work with it. But I found that together, either this is too thick, or this is too thick, or this is too, you know, if you rub it in, it starts to film a little bit. And this is just they don't like each other, in my opinion. But to each his own. But I feel like I have to be transparent and keep it 100 with y'all and tell you what my challenges have been. So that's all I have, you guys. These are my top 6. Of course, I have other foundations. But I think I want to talk more about oily skin, because you guys have been, you know, voicing these concerns. And Ambra, what foundations do you use to have a flawless finish? I've been wearing this Studio Fix all day. I do touch up throughout the day, but not a lot. But this gives me my flawless finish, in my opinion. This is something I gravitate towards, and I want to mix it up a little bit. Then, you know, I'll dabble in the other ones. Makeup Forever has been on my top usage for the past couple weeks. So between those two, and as it got colder, I used more of those other products. Tarte has been amazing. I just love how seamless. And you guys, if you're interested in seeing any of these products in a tutorial where it's just about that foundation and that foundation alone, just comment in the message box below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But until our next video, gems, shine bright. Bye.